Hello everyone, welcome to this video, and this one will be of particular interest, I think, to those of you who are prophetic intercessors, those who would call themselves watchmen in the nations. And I had the strangest vision with some orders from the Lord that I really wanted to share. And what happened this time was that in the spirit, I was in Iran. Now, as we film in this, it's the middle of the summer, and I don't know about you, we've had some pretty sweltering temperatures. But in this vision, it was snowing in Iran, and I thought, what on earth is going on here? And the first thought that I had is, oh no, there's so much talk going on in the nations about war and even the danger of nuclear missiles. I thought, is this snow coming down? Is it like a nuclear winter, something terrible like that? But instantly I knew it wasn't, that it was something much deeper than this. And at the same time, very curiously, there was a leopard staring at me. Well, I don't know where you live, but apart from stuffed toys, we do not have any leopards anywhere in the UK. And I wondered about this. And as you know, with a vision, you have to follow it. You just have to keep your eyes on the vision and watch it as it comes. And I heard the Lord talking about orders, and I'm looking at Psalm 147. You can look around verse 16 to the end by yourselves. And what it's talking about here is the Lord giving his word, giving his orders to the earth, just like the snow coming. And his word is going very, very, very swiftly. And I know that he wants us to partner with him in bringing some of his words to pass in the nations, not just Iran, but other ones as well. And of course, you don't need me to tell you of the troubles that are going on right now. It's all over the news, but let's rise higher and see what the Lord has to say about this. And he wants us to rise and to see how he wants his word to come down. And when his winds blow, then the word melts and it gives way to a thaw on the earth. And I'm praying for this to happen. And the reminder in this psalm is the Lord only does this for his people, Jacob. And you know, us, we're Gentile Christians, but we are, of course, with them in what the Lord is trying to do at this time. So, Lord, let it be, and let us understand so that we can declare what your word is, not just to the beautiful people of Iran and all of that area, but to the earth at this particular time, right in the middle of summer. And I reminded myself of something that happened to me. It was a very long time ago, where I was in a place where there was a lot of renewal, even revival, some said, going on. And I remember the Lord said to me something very, very curiously. It's got to be about 20 years ago at least now, and even more. And I think that, you know, in this particular season, we were all very, very expectant. We didn't understand as much as we thought that we did. And, you know, as I get older, I realize that what we do know is a drop in the ocean. And I remember the Lord saying to me, snow in summer. When it snows in the summer, it will be one of the signs that I will send that a revival is on the way. Well, you can take that. If you love that word, you can work with it. All right. And then I wondered what I was doing. It's July as I'm filming this, and in the middle of a snow blizzard with a leopard looking at me. And again, I started to work with it. And I thought, well, Lord, why are the people not so terribly afraid in this vision? And I could see people they were looking up to heaven. And I don't know, when I was small, I used to play with the flakes of snow, and I used to hold my head up to the sky and try and catch the snowflakes. And these people were looking up to heaven. And I thought, well, it's more than just snow. And I heard the Lord say, it's from Psalm 78, around verses 20, 21, 22. And he's talking about the time, of course, when he gave manna to the people and quails to eat in the wilderness, because there was nothing for them at that time. And I felt that the Lord was saying, and once again, I will feed human beings, my people, the food of angels. It's wonderful if you look at the Hebrew, angels' food, like the manna, it had come down. And of course, they didn't didn't know what it was. And I felt the Lord was saying that part of what we are to bring down now on the earth, it is to be fresh revelation that's come from the cold of heaven that will melt on the earth. But we've got to partner with him in this. And there is going to be a download like a blizzard of snow, but fresh revelation that's highly appropriate for this particular season as we move through it. And I heard from Job 38 as well. There's some beautiful verses there where the Lord is saying to Job, have you entered into the storehouses of the snow and the hail? You can look at the rest of the chapter if you like, because it's absolutely amazing. And it's like the Lord is saying now that you are going to be getting entrance into my storehouses. The snow and the hail are often a sign of God's judgment as well as the Lord's word. Of course, the Lord's word can be a blessing or it can be a judgment, depending on what you have decided is the way ahead for you, depending on what the Lord has spoken to you. And of course, it's important that we get it right so that we partner in with the word of the Lord and the right things are coming down into the nations. But we'll be seeing those storehouses opened. And I have a strong feeling that some of the weather is going to change in a very, very particular way. And maybe that's a big blessing for you if you've been having some of the temperatures that I know some of my friends have been having. So let's take it in what the Lord is saying. Mouths open, eyes up, eyes looking ahead and above of the circumstances. And what are those fresh words, that fresh revelation that the Lord wants us to bring down at the right time on nations and of course, on the people of Iran and other. And now let's go back to the leopard. As I said, we don't have any leopards in the UK. Maybe you don't either. And here is what the Lord was saying to me about this. You know, I'm certainly not an expert on leopards. Please don't think that of me. I'm certainly not. And I thought, well, Lord, are there such things as leopards in Iran? And I looked it up. Guess what I found? There are Persian leopards, okay? And they're a different, slightly different race. Those of you who are animal minded, you can probably tell me a bit more. And this leopard was looking at me and it was like something coming back from the past. And I looked up about these leopards, and you know, these Persian leopards, apparently they can run like the distance of a marathon overnight. They're very fast, they're hunters and they're predators. And I was thinking of the former name, of course, what we call Iran today, as being Persia, was part of that huge empire of Persia. And I felt like the Lord was saying something of the agility of that has been preserved, and it's going to be used, I feel, in a positive way as well in this particular season. Something that has been held back, but that is part of it. But we need to watch out that that doesn't turn too predatory, because those animals, they are predators as well, even though they move fast. It's like I could see armies moving faster than I'd seen them before. And then, of course, it was in the snow. And I started to think about the snow leopards. I don't know whether you're interested in them. They are getting to be more and more rare. And I felt the Lord was pointing to me to some of the places in the world where you get the snow leopards. And again, they hide. They're predators. You look at Mongolia, the north of India, and I felt the Lord was saying, keep your eyes, watchmen, on these particular regions, because things are going to happen, and things are going to happen very fast. And the Lord is going to be asking us to just keep an eye on it. And when it's the time to agree with what he is saying and to bring that word of the Lord down to the earth, whether it's a judgment on the wicked or whether it's the blessing of ancient revelation for God's people, that they desperately need at this time, it will be powerful. Be blessed with this very strange vision. I grant you, first time I had this in the middle of the summer as well. Be blessed and use it wisely. God bless.